Beth, you're starting. Oh,
Hi, Colorado TSA. Happy
oh.
TSA Town Hall. We're recording this one today because it is so important information. We want to get it out to all of you. So today we're talking about fundraising. I'm joined by some lovely individuals here today. I have Kara and Ellen, who are co-founders of an organization called BackPack Dreams. And then I have Beth from the St. Vrain Innovation Center. She's a CTE teacher. She teaches cybersecurity. So they are going to show you this amazing opportunity. And I'm just going to be quiet for once. Go ahead, Beth.
Thank you, Carrie. As Carrie mentioned, I teach at the Innovation Center. I teach cybersecurity, and I've had a CTE pathway for years and years. I've also coached sports. I coached tennis for a bunch of years, and I've done a lot of different fundraising. And so kind of the traditional selling chocolate and all of those kind of things, which were fine, but it was just missing a big component for me. And for my particular group, my cybersecurity group, we do a lot of competitions and that kind of thing. And so it's all very service oriented, my team. And so when I was talking to Kara, she mentioned about her fundraiser, and it was just kind of opened up my eyes to different possibilities. So what we want to share with you today, I know it's really hard to find different fundraisers, especially if you want to have some sort of service or business component, entrepreneurship component to it. So we want to show you this option and see if it's something you're interested in. So basically the plan today is Kara is going to talk about the Backpack Dreams and the fundraiser and go over that a little bit. And then it's going to come back to me and I'll talk about my experience with the team. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Kara.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Kara. I'm so excited to be here sharing Backpack Dreams with all of you with my lovely co-founder, Ellen. So, Ellen,
Hey,
feel free
Ellen.
to jump in if there's anything that you want to add. We started Backpack Dreams. We were looking at the landscape of youth fundraising, and given everything that's been happening for years and continues to happen, as far as cuts for education, for youth enrichment programs, we saw a real opportunity to come into the youth fundraising um, industry and offer something that was new and innovative and brought more meaning and impact. We were also inspired to do this, seeing the rates of, let's see, anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation. You know, kids are feeling so disconnected these days. And we know the antidote to disconnection is connection. So Backpack Dreams is an opportunity to, raise money for your organizations while kids are getting content and getting educated on the difference that they can make in the world, while also getting great skills like leadership skills and career path skills. And I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on. Beth, will you hit the next slide, please?
Let's see. Where will I go?
While she's working on that, I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because I know, well, at least I think, it's going to be more impactful for you to hear from Beth afterwards with like a real life case study of what it looks like. So, why Backpack Dreams? We donate 33% of every sale back to your CTSO, which is higher than the industry average. We partner with women around the world, both globally and domestically, who are facing barriers to work. So we work with women in Guatemala, in rural artisans in rural villages that don't usually have access to making money. So we work with them. We work with 3 organizations in the US, women coming out of prostitution, women coming out of incarceration, addiction. So women that just don't have the opportunity to get back into the workforce. So we give them work and they create amazing products that we'll show you a little bit later as well. We also have the opportunity, we hear all the time from people saying, I don't want any more. I mean, a lot of times anything in my house, especially not candy or butter braids or popcorn. So we source, beautiful, ethically made items, and we also give customers the opportunity to donate a backpack or a scholarship to a child in Guatemala. And last but not least, we really cultivate, compassionate leadership by having this conversation with kids and connecting them to a bigger world, connecting them to the understanding that what they do makes a difference. And we love exposing them to the idea of social enterprise, of the idea of philanthropy. We want them to know that they matter and they can make a difference with every choice that they make. Next slide. Okay, how it works. So we know you are all not sitting around, twiddling your thumbs. You're a little bit busy. So we try to make this as easy as possible for you and your groups. So when you decide to fundraise with Backpack Dreams, we walk you through it. We have step-by-step instructions. There's very little work to do on your end to get the store set up. And again, you have these interactive guides where you just follow the 1, 2, 3s to get it going. We sell, like I said, ethical quality products, and we use an online store that it's like 3 clicks for customers. And Beth, will you pull up the online store? We're going to just show you, this was Beth's fundraiser at the Innovation Center. So you'll see that when you start, you give us a little bit of information about your group and what you're fundraising for. And each child will get a unique individualized link that they'll send out to people in their network. And here are some of our beautiful products. We have home goods, we have some jewelry, we have coffee and dog treats, we have body care. And again, we have the opportunity to donate a backpack or a scholarship to a child in Guatemala. So your student will get this link. They will send it out to the people in their network. And like I said, we have guides. We have both a leader guide and a student guide. So students will get their guide to know exactly what they're doing. We put content in there. So it's literally a copy and paste. And we tell the kids, to personalize it a little bit, as they reach out to their network. But it really, it gives you have everything at your fingertips. So if you want to go back, Beth. And did I say everything? I just want to make sure that's right. Okay. And then, this is a big deal because what we do is the customers will order, they pay online. You're not having to worry about any sort of money collection. And then we ship directly to the customer's house. I don't know if any of you have been involved in the fundraisers where everything gets shipped to your school and then you're in charge of, giving it out. That is not us. We don't want you involved with any of that. We want you, in your classrooms with your kids. And like I mentioned, then once the fundraiser is closed, we send 33% of total sales to support your initiatives. And during the fundraising period, which you get to choose, we usually do 2 to 3 weeks. We also, on the back end, will be sending updates to the students. We will be sending inspiring emails, just recognizing that kids have a million things to do. So we stay in front of them by continuing to communicate throughout the fundraiser. And I think that's sort of the overview. Beth is going to get more into exactly what it looks like for her, or what it looked like for her. And Ellen, did you want to say anything before Beth gives her experience?
No, just to underscore the fact that we know that it's really hard to manage these while you're doing everything else. So if you we'll bring up the slide that showed the website again. And there's a little chat on the right-hand side that you can see comments that we can cheer students on. We can send an update of how much has been sold. You can congratulate somebody who's really been a leader and call them out in a positive way. And so all of that sort of fundraising management is what we really, just supporting what Kara said, really try to take off of your hands.
Wonderful. All right, Beth, you're up.
Okay, so my experience was this, as I mentioned in the beginning, that I've done so many fundraisers, probably 50 fundraisers over the years. In our building, we have a TSA CTSO, we have an FBLA CTSO, I have a Cyber Patriot CTSO. So we have all these different pathways in my building, and we were talking in a meeting, like, how do we want to do fundraising? And it happened to be right after I had this conversation with Kara. So there were two of us that came together, and a third will be doing it in the fall. My entrepreneurship teacher, who has FBLA, and myself. And so we started talking about like how this could be impactful for our own pathways. And so I sat down with my crew and shared this idea, and we kind of talked it through. And they were all in. Like, so to me, like, getting them all in and passionate about something beyond their own little world was really important. Like, we do a lot of work for our community and for, and beyond. And so this was really aligned with that as well. Plus, it has this entrepreneurship component to it as well. So it's great for that business side of things too. So this could be, I know my entrepreneurship teacher is going to have like her business class. She's going to have a whole fundraising unit. And then next year use the fundraiser as part of that unit. So which is really cool. And so the things that, first of all, as Kara mentioned, it's very easy. Like, really, literally, we wrote up a little piece together as a team of what we wanted to put in our intro, and then our stores were available like 2 days later, which was wonderful. And so we kind of talked about, like, the first time through, this is the first time we had done it. So after that first week, we meet weekly. And so the next week we came in, and I sent out some emails as well. As kind of, we made it kind of a little our entrepreneurship team challenged our cyber tech team. So it was kind of a fun little competition. And so I did like a pizza party for the team that won, which happened to be us, of course. So that made it really fun too. So like in our building, there was a little trash talking and things like that. So you can do it amongst like all of your CTE pathways in your building, which would be really fun. So let's say you have 3 or 4 CTE pathways. If you have a business or whatever it may be, you can kind of all do that at the same time, which is actually really useful. My students, I was going to have my students come in and talk, but they just left. So it's just really easy. So we talked about how we were going to draft our emails. And so after that first week, we were talked about like, well, what can we do? Let's send out some emails together. How can we go? And like, this is also a skill to me as well. So I talked to them about, like, when you're trying to sell yourself and sell this concept, I mean, that's something you're going to use throughout your entire life. So it's not just you're doing this fundraiser to help, people from all these women from other countries and from the US, and we're getting money for our own program, but it's also teaching you how to the communication, the professional skills. How do you sell something and project this service that you're giving? And like so that was quite powerful as well. We do a lot of networking, as I'm sure all CTE pathways, because a lot of times kids are going right to work. So it's actually a great thing that way too. And the kids got better and better with that. And they all kind of shared their ideas weekly of what things worked and what things it didn't. So that was kind of our process. We had our store open for 3 weeks. And so, yeah, we ended up, so you can see, so we had 9 students that participated from my group. And so when we overshot our goal, which is great. And so this I didn't see until relatively recently, which is amazing. So like just thinking, and I just shared this with my kids today, that we, provided almost a month of work for these women, which is incredible. They were all very, very excited about that. It's not even like, and a lot of the kids were like, we want to give the money back to them. So it was, they were really invested in the whole service side of things and who we were helping and things like that. And we just got back actually from Guatemala last week, and we got to meet some of the artisans, and that kind of blew my mind a little bit to see some of these kids that were we were helping, and some of the artisans as well. So for me and my team, it was an amazing experience, and it was just very different than the other things we've done before. I mean, we loved it, and I'm actually moving over to a P-Tech at Silver Creek, and we're certainly gonna do that as well throughout that. And if you have any individual questions, I'm happy to. I'll share my email with Carrie if you have any individual questions about how it went, or if you want to talk to any of my students. I'd be happy to share. They can share with you as well. So, anything I'm missing?
I think you did a really great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we were going to take some questions. So, Carrie, do you have any questions in this moment?
Yeah, let's say we have an interested advisor or 10. How do they get started?
Yeah, no lid. We'll take 30, 40, 50. So let me ask you this, Carrie. We were going to post a link in the chat to have people add their information. I know you're going to be sending this video out. I'm wondering if we compose an email just with some of the information, and then we can have the link to that spreadsheet. We could also have Beth's information and our information so people could just contact us directly.
That's perfect.
Okay.
And then Kara, that's another thing that I think that we talked about is that you kind of touched on it, like how-to guides, but it's almost like a curriculum in and of itself, right?
Yeah, Beth, well, actually, you know what? Don't worry about it. It's really, yeah, it's content that shares the step-by-step guide plus gives information about the impact that we're having, as long as, and don't worry about it, Beth.
No,
Don't,
okay.
no.
You don't want to see all the stuff on my desktop?
But yeah, no, don't worry about it. I can actually include them in the email that I send as well, so they can look through it. And on the store, when people and customers go to buy, each product will talk about the group that makes them and the impact that it's having. So we really do, we get in front of the kids, we get in front of the customers. We've heard back from a lot of customers, well, through the kids of, oh my gosh, people aren't usually this excited. They were so excited about the things that they were getting or the opportunity to just, donate and make a difference.
I think the other big question that I think that my advisors would have for me is this appropriate for middle school and high school or just high school?
Absolutely both. Absolutely both. Yep, absolutely.
Well, fantastic, you guys. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to see some of these chapters take advantage of this.
Yes.
So
yay.
I hope you're hearing from them.
Okay.
Thanks for coming. I'm going to stop the recording and then we can.
I just have one thing to add. So if you
Sure.
are at CACD this summer in Loveland, I don't know if any of the, please come visit. There'll be a table set up that Kara and Ellen will be at. So please come visit and get more information if you have any other questions.
Perfect. Thank you again, ladies.
Thank you.